Do you believe in this rally? We're seeing it initially pushed by just a very narrow group of stocks. Now it seems to be broadening.
Yeah, hey, listen, when the Fed made their announcement yesterday, we did see a little bit of a reaction to the market, but I think things are normaling out. I think that hopefully, investors are understanding that this rate pause is not going to significantly affect their portfolio in the short term. And this is what we're seeing right now.
All right, so with that in mind, what is your WEX word of the day?
My WEX word of the day is focus, to drown out this noise about the Fed rate pause and focus on your long-term investment goals.
All right, so you're drowning out the Fed, but you are paying attention to some of the easing we're seeing in China. What is making Chinese equity so attractive to you right now?
Yeah, well, a few things, Frank. First, while we're pausing rates and most of the developing world is kind of increasing rates, China's cutting rates. So that's going to really be supportive to economic growth in Asia. The second thing is China's still really in reopen mode. So we expect to see some growth as they kind of progress through that. The other thing is that, China has this goal of becoming carbon neutral by 2060. So we're going to see this transition over the next a few years. This is going to potentially affect 1.4 billion Chinese people who are living in China. And so they're going to have to change the way they consume energy, the way they prepare food, the way they get to work every day. And so we're really looking at all the companies that are kind of best positioned to benefit from that.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of enthusiasm when it comes to Chinese equities. We were talking earlier about the KWEB, also the MCHI ETF. I do want to ask you about a story that we're seeing breaking today, the possibility of Intel building a factory in India, pivoting away from China. Does that make you, Micron building a factory in India, pivoting away from China. Does that make you concerned at all about just the long-term story for China, to see so many companies looking to move some production away?
It doesn't. I think about the significance of the Chinese consumer, even on an industry like luxury retail. If you listen to earnings calls, I do all the time. There are different sections of the earnings calls, but when it really comes to luxury retail, there's an entire section dedicated to the Chinese consumer. So I kind of look at across industries and how important the Chinese consumer is, how important, of course, manufacturing is, and I think that there's still a lot of opportunity in China and a lot of growth.